Hi, and welcome to another new episode of Sports Chat. I'm your host, Alix Schiraldi. On February 12th, in Baker's doubleheader versus Culver Stockton, the ladies' basketball team lost 67-62. Brittany Hines led the Lady Wildcats with 16 points, followed by Emily Gibson, who had a double-double with 14 points and 10 boards. Aubrey Gustin also chipped in with 10 points. Culver was coming off a hot streak, and Ashley Berry led the way with 20 points. The women now sit at 6th in the HACC. On the men's side, they beat Culver 78-54 for the fourth consecutive win at home. 4 players tallied points in double digits. Jairus Womack and Andre Strozer each came out hot with 22 points. Joe Wachter had 12 and Jack Shortell had 10 points. The men currently sit in 7th in the HACC but could possibly get 5th if they win their next 2 games. Both teams will be back in action February 17th when they will play longtime rivals William Jewell. On Saturday, February 12th, the dance team and cheer squad traveled to Culver Stockton for the annual HACC competition. The dance team placed 2nd while the cheer squad placed 4th. Wowzer also placed 2nd. The Spirit squad as a whole got a bid to nationals for the first time in Baker history. On the other hand, Dan Harris witnessed history when he traveled to Texas for the Super Bowl. Brad Barnes takes a closer look.
Many people dream of one day going to a Super Bowl. For former athletic director Dan Harris, that dream is now reality. As a former Baker football coach, Harris had the opportunity to coach Green Bay Packers head coach Mike McCarthy. 25 years later, Dan was driving to Lawrence one afternoon to meet his wife when he received a call from Mike that he will never forget.
I was driving in my car on Highway 59 to go to meet my wife for dinner. We were going to go to Longhorn. I was going to buy her a nice steak. She's had a hard day at work and was really deserving this. And all the time I'm thinking, I got to start calling my friends and organize a Super Bowl party down in the Dan Cave so we can all be here and celebrate the Packers' victory. Well, I got a phone call on my cell phone, and it was Lisa, who was Mike's administrative assistant. And she said, Dan, I just want to tell you that you had asked about the card that everybody was signing for Mike. Just send it to the stadium here at Lambeau Field. He said, oh, and by the way, Coach McCarthy's here. He wants to talk to you for a minute. I'm like, really? So he gets on the phone and he goes, Coach, Mike McCarthy, I got 2 tickets for you for the Super Bowl. Hope you can be there. Get with Lisa and work out the details. I mean, I had to hang up the phone. My heart was racing. I had to pull off 59 highway on the side of the road. It was a little bit snowy. I was just full of anxiety and so excited I couldn't hardly believe it. Well, the phone rang again, and Lisa was just laughing. She knew that I was just so excited and could hardly stand, the anticipation of going to the Super Bowl. But she said, Dan, I got you 2 tickets, and Mike set you up, and you'll sit in section 217, seats 17 and 18.
After Dan and Peggy Harris arrived in Texas, the festivities began.
The game in person is always unique because one of the things about the stadium is there's a 60-yard wide Jumbotron right in the middle of that stadium, and it's all covered indoors, and the Jumbotron runs from the 20-yard line to the 20-yard line. So you find yourself watching that almost more than the game. You almost feel like you're on the field with the players. It's so clear and so large. In fact, when we look down on the sideline a couple times, you can see the players on the sideline standing there like this. They were all looking up at the Jumbotron. So seeing everything on the Jumbotron, and the halftime show was outstanding. Leah Michelle, I know everybody knows it, but I'm a Gleek. I love the show Glee. And when Leah Michelle sang America the Beautiful, that was one of the best songs. Christina Aguilera obviously messed up the national anthem, but you know what? We didn't know and we didn't care because we're in the Super Bowl.
As Mike McCarthy held up the Lombardi Trophy after his team secured a 25-31 victory, the win not only put Green Bay back on the map, but also Baldwin City.
It's huge for Baker. This is the kind of thing that puts a small college on a national map. I think Baker already has a reputation, for academics, and we've had years of success in the 80s and 90s in football, and our soccer programs, our girls soccer team, 4th in the nation this past year. So a lot of recognition in that sense, but when somebody reaches the pinnacle of coaching, like a head coach of the Green Bay Packers, and throw in winning the Super Bowl, that's an unbelievable lift for this entire university.
While Harris will have lifelong memories of the Super Bowl, one sticks out more than anything.
Obviously, my favorite part was when Aaron Rodgers knelt down on the ground with 45 seconds left on the clock. That's when I knew Mike McCarthy just won the Super Bowl.
A victory of Super Bowl magnitude brings out the best in Coach Harris, as he is thrilled by the success of a past player and now world champion coach. This has been Brad Barnes, KNBU TV.
Thanks, Brad. We want to congratulate the wrestling team for being undefeated in dual matches this season. We also want to wish them good luck at regionals and also wish good luck to the track team who's traveling to Graceland for the conference meet. This wraps up this week's episode of Sports Chat. I'm your host, Alix Schiraldi. Back to Patrick in the studio.
Thanks, Alex. I want to send a reminder out to all the students to get your FAFSA done by April 1st. Well, this does it for this week's edition of Orangeline. I'm your host, Patrick Murch, and we're going to leave you with some footage of the Honor Band Festival.